What's up, everybody? It's the It's Just Breaking podcast, episode number 93, yo. And yo, this is a special episode for me because I always say there's three people that got me into breaking. I got two of them, and I finally got the last one, the last piece of the Exodia, yo, or the Egyptian god cards, yo.
There you go.
So representing World Serpent, Kabbalion, Challenger Deep, and now in the international crew, Floorgangs, we got B-Boy, Anansi, the Spider.
Hold up. Let me get this.
Get what?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Shout out, yo.
Holy.
Yeah, it's a professional
so
podcast.
extra.
Yo.
This is real professional quality, isn't it?
You deserve it, bro, yo. It's been a long time coming, but we finally got you on. So Tafai, yo, how have you been?
Yeah, man. I'm cool. Just been busy. It's been a really hectic year.
Oh shit.
Just a lot of thinking, a lot of experimenting, trying different things, traveling,
Pondering.
pondering, breaking about it. Yeah.
Yo, let's start with that. So we saw you recently at a freestyle session, and you just got down with the Floorgangs. So tell us about that experience.
Oh yeah. It was really dope. Like, I mean, at the same time, throughout the years, like for a long time, I'd say since like 2016, like, and even in some ways before then, like I've been learning off of like different people, like throughout the years in random places, like, like I went to San Francisco one time and met up with Profo and just like picked his brain about stuff, or like when I was in Japan, like Babylon just like dropped mad knowledge on me and like just like showed a bunch of stuff to me, and then we talked, and like I catch a lot of moments with people when I travel. Just Rock, like Justin, man, when I lived in China, like I would try and escape to Hong Kong as much as I could because I was like losing my mind.
Oh yeah,
so
you
then
were in
like
China.
I heard a funny story, but yeah, that's like.
But like, man, like every time when I went to Hong Kong, I would kick it with my friend Lee, because he came to Toronto before, and he's a really dope like person in general, but his breaking is nasty. And then he introduced me formally more to some of his friends, and then also like Justin, Just Rock, like I always seen him around, like we always bump into each other in different countries, especially around Asia, and then like we were just like kicking it, so I've always been kicking it with different people in random places, like when I got the opportunity. So it was more like, like throughout the years, just building slowly more and more. And then like
more sense.
Yeah. And so like, all these people inspire me. I learned off of a lot of people, like just the approach, the methods, like thoughts. They create my own systems, like bounce as well. So like eventually, like just talking about it more and more, building with people online too, like Rith from Boston, or like seeing Breeze around, like So eventually, like they were like, this year we were just talking. I went to Floor Lord's anniversary to battle with Rith and just like hang out, and then slowly we were talking about it, and then they were like, oh, like who's going to freestyle session this year? And I was gonna go anyway because like Just Rock was entering the rocking battle, and I was like, yo, I want to come watch. The tickets were $200 from Toronto round trip. Like to LA, that's like wild,
Yeah,
so like
good.
yeah, so I was like, yo, I'm down, I'm gone. I already booked it. Like it was easy decision. So then eventually, just what was it? Lynx Air.
Damn, Big Girl Lynx got her own airplane? Yo, sick, yo.
You're a clown. But like, it was like really like, I was surprised when I saw the ticket price. I was like, $205 including taxes. Booked.
Including taxes?
Including taxes.
That's amazing.
That's a deal, yo. What the heck?
Yeah. So just spending time with everybody in LA was like awesome. Got to catch up with a lot of people, and just hang out, like go eat tacos, all that jazz.
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Alfredo's.
When we go there,
yo, you have to, man. LA everywhere, tacos, burritos, like you name it.
Dude, when I went to freestyle session, I was hanging out with like the Japanese dudes like Seiji, and like I was hanging out with his crew and shit.
Yeah.
And all they wanted was Panda Express.
Are you serious, yo?
Yeah, I was cheese, bro. I'm like, yo, you're gonna get bad Chinese.
Not even tacos.
Yo, wait,
no.
Which freestyle session did you go to, James? Was it in LA as well?
The one where Anton and I think Ills got. Who was it? What Were they with Phil? Or was it Sticks?
Yeah, it's probably with Sticks or Phil, whatever. Oh,
That was like
okay.
maybe what was it 2018 or 2018 I think I was there.
Oh, I
Yeah,
didn't know
because
that.
like the Japanese dudes were there. I'm like, yo, I'll hang out with the crew, you know. So
True.
okay, I just showed up. So
Yes.
why not? And the whole thing was just a cipher. It was
Yeah.
just it's a long cipher.
True. Yeah,
Yeah.
so to fast. So what is it like battling internationally compared to battling in Toronto? Like how would you describe the difference between the two? Since you travel to a lot of these different places to battle or to get down.
I think like it depends on each country, like battling in Toronto feels different compared to even battling in Montreal, compared to battling in Vancouver. Like
Mm.
each community has its own energy about it, right? And so like I would say the most fun
Yeah,
for
that would be
me,
the
like the places I have the most fun in are like for some reason Vancouver. Like I really like
Oh,
battling
okay.
in Vancouver. It's like it's just really fun. Like I don't think about anything. Like I just experiment, I try stuff, like and even if it doesn't work out, I'm still like cool.
It's that
And
mountain
then
air.
yeah, just try. And then on an international level, like on a higher level, like battling in Japan is also really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because like literally, like you're in an environment where everyone can do some wild shit.
Yeah.
Mm.
Like everybody has something special, so you don't know what's gonna happen. Literally, like anybody can win. You'll get smoked, or you end up like pulling some shit out that you never even knew you had in you. You know,
Ah,
like
okay.
just like
Mm-hmm.
so. I really think it's important too that like people got to go out of their way to make magic happen. You don't just like sit in Toronto and hope to win a qualifier to fly you somewhere else. Like you got to just go, like just try some stuff, go meet some people. If you have the resources, because like money is an issue.
Speaking of that, how are you traveling so much? Because you're in like Tafaya's out there. Like you just open your phone, watching a random
Yeah,
battle,
man, this guy
and
just
you're like,
pops up, yo.
what? This guy is what the hell? Tafaya's there?
Yo, honestly, like I think I got really lucky with like budgeting. Like I'm really good at budgeting my
Mm-hmm.
money, and like I plan like ahead. So like a good example is like last year October, I was applying for grants and projects, things I wanted to think about for this year. I was also doing like a course, so I was like trying to set up some kind of money flow ultimately.
Ah.
So it's like no matter what happens, something's gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
I can go this way, or straight. Like it's just more like what's actually gonna happen, and then the travels that occur come out of that. So like I applied for these grants. One of them was a professional development grant, so I went back to Ghana, which is why I
Oh
was there for
yeah.
2 months again this year. Because I was there for 2 months last year, but this time I
Oh,
was
okay.
there 2 months again. This time it was just training, like just really like nonstop, like almost every day.
Sick.
Um, so that was wild. And then like everything else, like all the other in between journeys, are just like you hear a thing, you look at the prices, does it make sense? Like cool, like and if you can do it, you do it. You got to cut back some costs on some other stuff, or
Mm.
maybe some nights you're like, I don't know where I'm gonna sleep, but we'll figure it out. Like
Yeah,
but and then just getting lucky a little bit.
get
So
lucky.
Ah,
What
true.
is the scene like in Africa or Ghana? Is that the
Yeah,
only
yeah.
place you've seen?
like
Like in
no, I went to Nigeria as well this time.
mm,
Man, like how I could describe it is like
air flares for days?
nah, like not even like so one thing that people don't know about like at least like the West Africa region, something that I found out I didn't even know. Nigeria has been having like really solid quality breaking events for like the last like
Oh.
12 years. Like they've had Battle of the Year in Nigeria for
Yeah.
like a
Oh,
long
okay.
time now. Like actually, like they're the only West African nation that's had Battle of the Year for that long and been running it consistently. So like a lot of them have like they've had like a team be able to go like rep in Japan at the Battle of the Year finals and stuff. So if you notice in Nigeria, like the level like they can do like a little bit more in terms of creativity. They can do all the power stuff. Like they're really nasty. They have good ideas, like things like that. But the issue across all of West Africa is form. Like for some reason, like it's just like people skip the memo on like, yo, like squat, like sit down,
Yeah,
squat,
yeah,
like,
You
yeah.
sit on
you
your
know,
heel,
like,
right? Like that kind of thing.
yeah, like I don't know what it is. Like, you know, you'll, or this is a really wild example. Like, so we're in the session and then I'm like talking to people about some stuff and I ask people like, okay, yo, do a head track to a halo. And like, there's a guy that can chair flare for days, air flare for days.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I don't know how to halo. And I was
Oh
like,
shit.
what? Like he hadn't even really been doing head tracks, like, you
Yeah.
know, and he's like, I don't know how to halo. So I was like, what? I don't understand. Like, you can chair flare, you can air flare, you do flare
Yeah.
90, you do, and he's just like, well, I was
Uh,
like, okay, well, and then you show them, and they get it in like 3-4 minutes.
yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But
Oh
it's
shit.
Yeah.
like,
I mean,
did
when
you
you get drilled
never?
in it.
It's like, did you never think to try a halo? Like, and there's a lot of that, like, or you'll ask somebody like, oh, can you do this? And they'd be like, oh no, I can't do that. And you're like, oh, when did you try it? And they'll be like, oh, I never tried it before. And I'm like, what? Well, how do
Wow.
you know if you can do it? And they're like, okay, I'll try. And then they get it in five
Oh.
minutes. And it's like,
Wow.
what have you been doing the last 5 years? You know, like,
Yeah.
you could have gotten this
Yeah.
5 years ago.
Mm.
But
Do
it's a
they have like
mindset.
do they have like access to like YouTube and all that thing as much as we do?
Yeah, like they have access to YouTube, but the issue is like, and this is where kind of like world issues begin to play into like people's level of breaking. Like
Mm-hmm.
over there, like the phone plans are cheaper, but you have to understand that people can't make a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
Like, so like the average salary of somebody in a day might be like 12 to 15 US dollars
Damn.
a day. Okay, that's 8 to 10 hours of work. um, Sometimes depending on your profession you get paid even less, like, you know, like I know like if people are school teachers sometimes they make like, if they're lucky, like 200 USD a month, like a month,
Damn.
right? So that's working like 40-50 hours with 30-40 kids in a class, like, you know,
And
you're doing all the marking.
that's
Like,
Nigeria?
that's Ghana.
Oh,
So
that's in
like,
Ghana.
Oh,
Okay.
okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's Ghana. You know, and all of West Africa always is suffering from a lot of issues with corruption.
Mm-hmm.
And like people talk about corruption, like, oh, the government's corrupt and this and that, but they
Yeah.
still lead their lives, right? And whatever in Western countries. But when you go over there, you see that corruption affects everything because literally people are sucking the resources that should be going to everybody. And then that's affecting how much money people make. So then when you go home, like, how can you eat? If you can't eat, how are you supposed to go to practice? You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like, it
Yeah.
really affects even the breaking. And you don't think about it until you see it. And you're like, damn, I didn't realize government issues really affect even my dancing. Because over here, it'd be like, oh, like the government's corrupt. You'd be like, let's go
Yeah.
practice. Like,
Yeah,
but over
yeah.
there, it's like the
Yeah.
government's corrupt and literally it's affecting your paycheck. You
Mm-hmm.
cannot eat today, or you got to figure it out. You got to share a meal with somebody. You got to, you
Yeah.
know, yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It fucks with the bottom of the hierarchy of needs, so you can't even do anything above that.
exactly. But like, despite that, the physical capability of
Mm-hmm.
everyone in that environment is ridiculous. Like there are kids, like children, that just like backhand spring to invert, pop out, like,
Yeah. Yo,
you
I've
know,
seen
just
those, man. I've seen those. These guys
just
are
it doesn't
crazy.
make any sense.
Yeah.
Like you're struggling in life to even eat sometimes, but your body can still do all this stuff. Like, I don't even understand. Like, it's weird, man.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like even like because I teach a lot of like even like now like I teach a lot of like rich kids and like they have bad even though they have so much opportunities and resources they have like terrible mentality. So would you say that
Mm.
like in Ghana or like Nigeria like even though they don't have a lot they use that time that they have like like in a really productive way?
I think that they try to. I think that they work like that. I think all around the world, people work very hard. Like, there's this some, you know, in breaking, people have this misconception, like, oh, like I hustle, nobody works harder than me. Like, they want to show
Mm-hmm.
up to the jam, be real low key, and then smoke everybody. Like, that's how b boys think. Even some
Yeah.
b girls less so. They're more like chill. But a lot of b boys specifically are like, oh, like, you know, I'm a train, come out from the underground, smoke everybody.
Yo, I'm
But
just gonna
like,
turn up.
but then like in those kind of cases, in those environments, like there's always a small child outworking you. Like
Mhm.
all around the world,
Yeah.
there are small children outworking you. They can already air flare. They can already like chair flare better than you. So like, what are you gonna do? But
Fucking sad.
the difference is like there's like a problem in the mentality. Like, sure, you can achieve all these physical things. I can do this, do that. But if I ask you, yo, 6 step coffee grinder, 90 chair freeze, reverse head track, and you just say off the bat without even trying it, oh, I can't do that. There's something wrong. Like
Mhm.
there's something affecting you to even be willing to try something. Like even though you can do all this other stuff. So you see that issue a lot. So in Ghana, because I'm Ghanaian, I have dual citizenship
Uh-huh.
now. So that's why I can kind of come and go if I want. And I can, with that passport, that's why I can go into Nigeria and other West African countries because they have like a union.
Mhm.
So like you can move across them and live in anywhere pretty easily. But like that's the issue. The mentality is like some people aren't willing to give themselves a chance because like it feels like society hasn't given them a chance. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? Yeah.
True. Damn, yo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
man.
it's tough, man.
Yo,
It's tough.
James, yo, we both gotta step up, man. Yo, we gotta do, yo, from that, yo, definitely gonna try harder. Yo, and there's a
Yeah.
jam, and right now is a good opportunity to plug the jam, yo. So, James, yo, you're judging this week. Let's go, yo. Ensemble jam happening December
Mm-hmm.
2nd.
Yeah, I'm judging this jam. I did not see that coming.
Let's
Shout
go,
out.
yo.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So ensembles jam. Yo, if you want to make it to the first round, hit me up. I already got
what the
$20
fuck?
from
That's
one.
not how you shout out the
Bro,
jam, bro.
bro,
Talking about corruption right there.
wait, what?
That's that corruption piece.
Yeah, exactly, yo.
Yeah, I got some Nigerian roots in me. You know me. I got a
Oh
little
my
something.
god.
Bruh.
But okay, no, honestly, go to the gym. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna have hella fun. I'm gonna be like going like super hard with the judging. Like I'm gonna show you all of my theory of why I voted for this and that. So if you ever,
Really?
you can't call me out. You can't call me out because I can't battle right now. So
Yo,
Oh.
I'll
so
bow
you
for
Are
know
you
you.
what?
I'll
injured?
bow for
I'm
you.
gonna go extra nerdy for you. You can go ahead and try, but
Are you
I'm gonna,
injured?
yeah, I tore my meniscus
Oh, okay,
in
okay.
Yeah.
August.
Dang.
So
Dang,
I
dang.
can't do nothing if you all call me out. I'm defenseless right now. I'm a turtle without a shell. So right now I'm just gonna be like, I'm just gonna go. I have it in my book. I'm gonna be like, yo, this is why I picked this person because of this reason. So
True.
but it's gonna be hella fun. Yo, come out, show up.
Respect. And yo,
Yeah.
another shout out, yo, Tafai, you're also judging another jam as well in
What
Oh
the
yeah,
the?
month, yo.
December 16th, like
Yes,
League of Your
yo.
Own. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
your shout out to Unknown Flowforts. They're gonna be hosting a jam on December 16th, yo. We're gonna pull up for sure. Yo, it's a 2v2 jam.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, and again, yo, Tafai is judging. I believe Burn is judging, and then one more person is judging as
Okay.
well. I can't remember who.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah. We'll have on our overlay. We'll have like the poster for it so everyone can
Uh,
see.
yeah, unknown unlockable character still coming out.
Just
Yes. All right.
silhouettes.
Yes.
All
All right,
right. So,
Tafaya. So let's get back. So let's go all the way back. So Tafaya, yo, how did you start breaking? Like, how were you introduced to breaking? And all that.
How did I start? I did martial arts before I was breaking for like 8 years, and
Taekwondo,
then
right?
no, I did Shotokan, like Japanese style
Oh.
karate, and then I did Kempo, American style karate,
mhm.
and then I quit when I was 14, and then when I moved the next year back to Toronto, I just didn't want to take it up again. Like I was pretty done with it. And then I was like walking down the hallway at like Don Mills Collegiate,
Oh,
and
okay.
like I just saw a dude do a Nike freeze, like, and I was just like, what? Like I was like, what? What is that? Like, you know? And then I just like walked down the hallway and just sat my ass down, and I was like, yo, like. And then after a while, like, yeah, like freaking what's his name was there? Skull.
Oh yeah,
Skulls. Oh,
Yeah,
Rick.
Rush.
Skull
Rick
did a 90
Yeah,
Ocean.
yeah.
freeze.
Wait,
No,
skulls?
no. He was there. Like he's been dope ever since he started
Yeah.
breaking. Like
Oh
I've
yeah.
never seen him whack in his life. He's been good from like day one.
Oh
Like
yeah.
he was dope from the beginning. He's still dope now. He's always gonna be dope. Like Ocean, yeah, he's dope. And so he was there. He used to go to Don Mills too. And like so everybody that was there at the time, it was just like a few of us, like you know what I mean? Like 2 or 3 breakers, like a popper,
Yeah.
popper named Ray. And then like another person named like Sean Choi, and then another dude named Jet. And then they all like showed me a bunch of stuff, and then I heard about like just other schools. You know what I mean? Like people, like, back then people would be like, "Yo, I heard there's this kid at Northview. He can do 3 flares," and you'd be like, "What?" Bullshit. Like, and then be like, "All right, we got to go see this." So then after school, you try and like catch the bus to catch Northview kids. Like, "Oh, I heard this dude can do a hollow back for 5 seconds." You'd be like, "Bullshit." Like just searching for other people. And then that's how you meet like a bunch of people. That's how I met like Emstro, because he went to Northview. Heard about him. Met Andre from All Out Raw, because he went to Northview. Like a whole bunch of other people, and then they were like, "Oh, you should go to Combat Practice. You should go to St. Lawrence." Like all these other spaces where people were breaking, and then that's when I was like, "Oh snap! This breaking thing is kind of crazy." Like, like people are dope. Like I still remember the feeling of going to Combat Practice for the first time, the feeling of going to St. Lawrence for the first time. Like those things you don't really forget. Like Tropicana, like SYRC.
Oh, Tropicana.
Yo, Tropicana.
Jam? Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man.
That's where Juice called out D-Flow.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
That was
like frick,
funny.
man. It was a lot. There was a lot of call out battles back then. I miss that. Like,
Yeah, we gotta bring that back, yo.
well,
yeah. I think there's hope.
We'll get called out.
I'm gonna tell my kids to call out the other studio kids, yo. I think
your kids got called up by Bridge at the last jam, so.
Oh yeah, Bridge doing the right thing, bro. I like that.
Bridge checking all the kids and only all the kids, bro. But yeah,
that's important.
Yeah, it's very funny. Also, that you just see Bridge standing in the middle of a circle of little kids up to his ankles.
Yeah, but he did it in a nice way though, like in a very like kind of way or whatever. So it's like,
you got to. But yeah, like St. Lawrence back in the day, like I remember that was like the most cram-packed session. Like you couldn't even like.
What year was that? What year was this?
It's like because I started in 2008.
Same.
So like 2008, 2009, like I definitely felt like that was like a really wild breaking time in Toronto.
Wild West.
Before they changed the floor.
Before they changed the floor at St. Lawrence, bro. That was the first time I met you, actually.
Yeah. I remember you from SYRC, right? Like I remember like going to that one SYRC session where you battled you were battling oh my gosh.
No, it was my boy that battled. It was
Mark?
It was not a DKM, no, it was my boy Taz, another tall dude. Was battling Juice, actually. He called him out. Because we were just chilling. I didn't do shit. We were just chilling, like, because we're all tired for some reason. And I remember, like, Taz he was the best one out of all of us. And he got called out because he's just sitting down on the couch. And then Juice goes up to him and is like, "Yo, the only reason you're sitting and watching is because you're biting our moves."
Because you're biting. I remember that. I remember that. And I was like, I think that was like one of the first SYRC sessions I ever went to. And I was standing there and I was like, "Phew."
Oh, biter!
Oh, biter! Oh.
Yo, did you guys even know what that was back then? During that time?
Well, yeah, because back then everybody was like a hard ass back then. They were like, "Yo, if you're a biter, you need to get out of here." Like it was very much like, you know what I mean? Like it was different, man. People were like, "You're biting." Just like throw you out of there. Like,
that was an offense back in the day, a very criminal offense for sure.
Yeah.
But no, we didn't even know who he was. I think somebody might have been talking shit about DKM online, but
back to the underground.
Yeah, something like that. The YouTube comments, whatever.
Oh,
no, man,
it
wasn't
me.
All
beef,
DKM. All 2008 beef, 2009 beef. That was back to the underground forums, like for sure. Like,
yo, I wonder those forums are still up. Anyways,
no, I doubt it.
True.
Well, look it up.
We need a server manager, but yes.
But so we're just chilling and like sitting on the couches. We're just talking after. This was after we practiced for 2 hours, by the way. And then like he's like, "Hey, you guys are just sitting around. That must mean you're biting. Like you're a biter." And he points to my boy Taz, and he's just like, what? Okay, go first. It's like, no, let's battle right now. And he's like, okay. He's like, okay, go first. He's like, I don't want to go. And then like they're like, what the fuck? Fuck this. And we never went back again after that. We're like, we're
Yeah, I remember. I never saw y'all again at that session.
Never went back again. We just all practiced at my house after
Yo,
that.
That's so funny. Yo. That's so territorial. That's hilarious.
Never to be seen again.
But no, the first time I met Tafaya, it was at St. Lawrence, and I left. So I was with my boys. We walked in. I was with my boys. I was Mark and these other two guys I started with that they don't even really break. They're just talking shit. I go to the washroom, come back, and Tafaya's just like, "Oh, so you're James?" I'm like, "Yeah. How'd you know who I am?" Like, your boys are talking shit about you the whole time. It's like they're like, yeah. It's like, yeah. They kept saying you're fat the whole time, so I just I didn't know what the funny thing is. They didn't even practice the whole time. They were way too afraid to practice.
Which is weird. It's so weird, man, how people do that. But like, to be honest, I think that back then the vibe was more intimidating. When people went to a session, like it was like you felt like you had to be good to even go to practice there. Like, like there wasn't any space where you felt like this is a beginner corner, or this is unless you're at Comer, there's like one spot. But like otherwise you just go to a session and be like, if I'm not nasty when I throw down, I'm just taking up space, so I better just watch and learn something. Like
100%. There's like the very, very back corner, right by the not by the window, the opposite side. That's your spot. Yeah. And then like all the good guys are in the front.
Because I remember when I first started breaking, whatever. Like one of the first practice ones was Yorkdale, and there was like the visual assault corner, and then all the Unity kids corner. So it was like kind of like level, like it was like the beginner corner and then the intermediate corner or the pro corner.
The pro corner. But like I think that like rather than now that I look back on it. It has actually like nothing to do with skill level as much as it is like who are your friends, right? Like who do you like spend your time with? Because like if let's say I'm like 25 and then I tell my friend, oh, you want to try breaking, and they're like, yeah, sure, and then we go to this thing, they're not going to be practicing with these beginner 16-year-olds. They're going to be with me. Like, and whoever else I'm with in that other corner, if we're working on stuff. Like, so it's less about skill, it's more about like relationship.
Yeah, crew, friend, like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like your own intimidation. Like, you're afraid. You don't know. You're like a beginner kid, and then you just see like fam in the corner. And I'm like, oh shit, that's Switch B. I don't want to go near him. He's too good.
Yeah, I remember my first encounter with Tafai was this. Yeah, I remember. You remember Bobby? Tafai, Bobby. He was like, you're teaching at Lamoureux. Bobby went up to me. Man, there's this guy that's teaching coin drop, yo. And that was like Bobby's first power move that he was proud of. I was like, yo, you gotta go. And that was the first time I met Tafai. I'm like, and he taught me coin drop in that one day.
Yo, coin drop? That's like
man.
Bobby now he still can't coin drop ever since that day.
But he could have gotten it. But the thing with Bobby is that like he just was focused on other things. You know what I mean? Like I feel like to be really like advanced in breaking, I feel like you have to kind of become obsessed. And I don't mean like I don't think like people be like, oh, like I'm passionate. Like I don't mean passion. Like I'm talking passion is cool, but like I mean like obsessed. Like you wake up, it's the first thing on your mind. You're like stretching like for hours for no reason. Like you're thinking about practice before you even get to practice, and even after practice, you're still trying to practice more. Like obsessed. Like people ask you, what are you doing tonight? You want to go to this party or do this thing? You're like, I'm going to practice. Like there is no other option. Like like.
Do you still have that like that same kind of mentality? I remember I was like that for sure, especially like the first couple of years. Like that's all I thought of. Like I'm in class and I'm just thinking of moves. So like he does this all the time. Like, so do you still
my god, he's gone. What
he's in his computers. But do you still have that same like not like drive, but like that same sort of obsession? Because I
1,000%. Like to be honest, I feel like when I started breaking, I just thought like, yo, I'll do this for a little bit. I think it's interesting. Like, but I was always a person that was trying to be balanced. I want to be realistic. Like I was like, I need to lead a balanced life, and I want this, and I want this. But then like like I didn't expect to even get this far in breaking. Like, but
Oh
then
yeah.
the more I've been doing it, I was like, dude, like I'm in so deep, like
I can't
I
quit
can't
now.
stop.
I
I
can't
can't
stop.
quit. Like, you know, and I'm also like, I'm not somebody who's ever set like a limit for myself. Like I didn't say like, oh, when I'm this age, I'll stop, or like when this happens. Like I've always just been like, at this point, I'm like, nah, like I'm just locked in. I'm gonna keep going. I'm trying to like really develop some like innovative stuff for
Yeah.
myself. Like I want to be nasty for myself. Like I don't think about like, oh, like I need people to like recognize me. Like that doesn't matter at all, because like at the end of the day, I feel like everybody breaks because they have something wrong with them. And when
Yeah.
you break, you can kind of figure out different parts of yourself as a form of like self-reflection. So like I don't need people to practice with, but it's nice to practice with people that you
Yeah.
vibe with. Like I don't need to go to jams, but I like going to jams because it's a good opportunity to meet, connect, meet different parts of myself through other people. You know, like I think you have to be really like self-motivated if you want to push the limit. You know, you can get really dope, but like there's a lot of people who started when we started in 2008, 2007, and they were really good very quick, but then they didn't dance after a while because like it almost like it came too fast for them. You
Mm.
know, like it was just like something to do, and then they weren't obsessed with it. They were like, yeah, it's cool, and then they're like, anyway, they just put it aside.
Yeah.
Like
What's
it
the
was
next
just like,
challenge? You know.
yeah, like, you know, like, nah, I don't feel that way. I'm more interested in breaking now than I was even when I was like 16, because I know more. And once I know more, I realize I don't know anything.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah. There's
know,
that saying.
Yeah.
There's that
yeah,
saying, yo. True.
So
yeah.
you said right before this, you said like, oh fuck, I'm so bad at interviews. You said that you learned like a lot about like yourself through breaking. So what are some, if you
Mm.
are able to share, what are some of the things you learned about yourself?
Mhm.
Yeah, like I realize like if we're talking like personality wise, like I realize that like although I am not a competitive person just immediately, like I have a like flat back. like like I'm somebody where like I'm really chill, and if somebody is like antagonizing me,
Hmm.
I like to put them in their place. And that's what
Yeah.
breaking taught me. It's like, self defense is about when you meet the situation that requires that effort, you can put it in to like diffuse it. That's what self
Yeah.
defense is. And I think that that carries over into breaking. Like sometimes you're in a battle, you're in a cipher, you're in a whatever, a situation, and like somebody starts like, let's say, acting out. And like that's disrespect towards people there in that environment or you, and then you got to have the drive to kind of be like, hey, like shut up, like put it down, like, and
Put it
like
down.
if you can't put it down, like if you can't really do that, like if you don't feel comfortable to, then it's going to be really hard to keep pushing the limits, right? Because like
Hmm.
otherwise you're going to feel like, oh, all these people disrespecting me, da 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 da, but really it's like, but you could have done something about that. That's why you're
Hmm.
breaking. You have the tools,
Yeah.
like, and so what breaking taught me is that like I have a really strong like desire for the clap back when the moment occurs. Like I'm like, nah, you're not gonna disrespect me. Like I have immediate like snapback response,
Hmm.
and like it's not good or bad, because like on the highest level you can say it's petty, right?
Yeah.
Like I know at the worst level I'm a petty person, so it's like if you're petty to me, I'm a petty times two to you.
Yeah.
And then on the other level, if I see you mistreating other people, then I'm gonna check you on that. So
Hmm.
like there's the two extremes of my personality, right? Like it's not bad or good, it just is,
It just
right?
is.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. That's one aspect. And the other aspect is it kind of made me realize like like none of this really matters. Like, and when I say that, like you get all existential with it, but like we just do
Hmm.
this for no reason. Like we're rolling on the floor, we're like putting our hands on our shoes and putting our leg through like what? Like none of it
Yeah.
matters. Like this is
It's
this is
just breaking,
nonsense.
bro. It's just
So
Yeah.
breaking.
it's just breaking, right? So
Yeah. That
like it made
marketing.
me realize like whatever we do, like at least like if none of it matters, we can give a meaning to it. And
Hmm.
Yeah.
so like for me, like that's why I put like a lot of my experiences or conversations with people, things like that, into the movement, because it helps me kind of like keep a record of my life. So I kind of put those lived experiences into these moments, and people who are there, people who understand the little jokes, things like that, they'll see it and they'll get it. And then like for me, it's just a marker every time. It's like a save game checkpoint.
Yeah,
Wow.
I
Yeah,
know. I know.
every
A lot of
throwdown.
times, you battle. Like you tell a story when you battle people.
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just full of shit. Maybe I'm just going
yeah,
crazy.
no, like yeah, every battle, every time I battle, like I have stuff, that I'm trying to
Mhm.
express. I feel like it's more a conversation.
Yeah.
And like it depends who I'm talking to as well, right? Like it's not going to be the same like if I like when I battle, let's say like somebody I'm friends with is going to be different than battling a stranger, because like when I battle somebody I'm friends with, I have a tendency to go even harder. Like
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
where like I
really?
do my best. If we're cool, like I'm like, okay, I'm gonna like give you the work because I expect you to like give it back. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? If it's somebody I don't know, we don't have a relationship, so we're kind of starting from zero.
Mm.
Right.
Yeah. So like there's nothing to talk about. It's a getting to know you kind of battle
Mhm.
versus somebody you already know, like you chill with, like maybe even casually, you're like, okay, like come on, like let's go. Like
Mhm.
yeah.
It's a first date compared to like we've been at it for a while now.
Yeah.
All
It's
right.
like let's see what you've been working on since last time.
True, that makes sense. So
I
so
can
so
Yeah.
crash a joke.
so to so how would you describe like your style, like, because you definitely have a very unique style compared to like what people are putting out like nowadays or whatever.
I mean, I don't know. I have a thing where I think I can't really say that I have a unique style, like for me, because I just live in my own experience. But if other people look at it and they say, "Oh, I think that's unique," then I'm like, "Okay, cool." And like that's like one of the things about traveling a lot. You see a lot of different things and you realize like, well, damn, like everybody's out here wilding, like doing some like innovative stuff. It's just that they'll never get the opportunity to be seen. So you kind of learn to appreciate like what you can do and what you have.
Mm-hmm.
And you just realize like, okay, I gotta like remain humble because there's always somebody's 8-year-old child working harder than me,
Yeah.
like out there, like, so like in terms of my approach or my style right now, and I say right now because like my style keeps updating every month, every 2 months, like every
Mm-hmm.
practice. Like if I post practice footage from last year and you look at how I moved this year, it's gonna be
It's
different.
different, yeah.
Um, yeah, it's very different.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like the approach that matters to me is like making things that mean something. Like I'm not doing just sometimes random things. Like I'm doing things that are like, yo, like this is what I learned from this person, but I took it this direction, and like kind of like I treat it like even when I'm battling somebody, I pretend like I'm teaching them. I'm like, yo, you don't know about
Okay.
this. Let me show it to you. Like, yeah, that's how I
That's
think about it. It
gangster.
doesn't matter whether you're on like a musical level or like technical. Like, I'm always trying to fill in the gap. I'm like, okay, like, oh, you know about that? That's cool, but did you know about this? So it's
Uh,
like that kind of relationship. Like, that's how you have a good conversation, right? Like, it's like I'm asking you what you know about, and then I'm like, oh, I heard about that. Did you hear about this? Like this movie, like Spider-Man 2, like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, that kind of
yo,
conversation.
I'm gonna call that the daddying style, bro. You show him what's good. You show him the sauce. It's like true. So I guess
Yeah.
like how about who would you say like are some like breakers that inspired you, like just off the top of your head, whatever.
So off the top, like Charles, Winston, Pieces, Endel, Migas, Bounce, Bigo Be Nice, Laos, Bruce Wayne, Total Feeling, like
It's off the top of the head.
yo, like this off the top, like you know what I mean? Quick time, like Ryota from Japan, like
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
do
Mm-hmm.
name yeah, Ryota. Whoa, man, Ryota is like I think he's one of the illest breakers of all time. Like
Rio
like
Z or
no,
Ryota?
Rio Z too. I've practiced with Rio Z as well. Like
He's
he's
a cool.
also
He's funny.
somebody. He's dope. Like
Who's
Kent is
Ryota?
really nasty. Uno One, Checkmate.
Ken.
Like all the Floorgangs
Yeah.
peeps really inspire me. They
Shout
always
out.
have. Like just oh man. Like honestly, like I met so many people. Like my friend Nana in Ghana too. Lyrics. He's like mad inspirational. Like
Oh,
there's so many. Florida, like there's a dude named Nucree, like New Creation. Like Nucree is like he was like one of the first like Miami B boys that I really like got to sit down and like chop it up with and like watch and like his breaking too. Like I was like, oh my gosh, this is insane. Like how can you move like that? Like just I do. And then Seth, like there's a dude named Seth who really inspired me. Like he was like younger than me. Like he passed away now, but like that he was like a really huge inspiration to me. So there's a lot of people, a lot of people like throughout my life. Like I can't even name them all. That's how many. Like it keeps piling up. You know.
Yeah.
And us, thank you. It's Just Breaking podcast as well.
It's Just Breaking podcast.
Yeah. We're at the end, but we're still there. It's fine.
When Tafaya makes a podcast, we can say that.
Oh fuck. Yeah, when's the podcast starting, Tafaya?
Man, it's funny. People have been like, "Oh, you should start a podcast," and like everybody has a podcast. That's all the more reason not to have a podcast. But like, I love that you have a podcast. That's great. It's happy for you. But like, for me, like, I don't have the time or the energy. Like, I don't want to talk to a computer screen all the time.
Yeah.
Like, just
want
to fight my demons by myself. You know what I'm saying?
If you do start one, if you get co-hosts or co-guests or whoever the hell, make sure they actually show up, like Bobby and Dennis, bro.
Well, I mean, like, yo, man, if they're grinding, they're grinding. There's not much you can do about that. Capitalism is crazy. Also, inflation. like after a long day, like, do they want to sit at the computer and like, maybe they just want to put their heads like down on the pillow and just like go night night, and that's it.
You just want to get in that fetal position and just hope for better days.
It's a wrap. Hope for better days. Cool. That's a wild statement.
I'm about to do that right now, actually.
Yeah. All right. So, what are some tips? Like a lot of people from my crew and like my journey, we were taught by you guys in Unity or whatever. So, what are some like teaching tips that you have? Like, cause I also recently started teaching whatever.
Right. So yeah. You've been teaching a lot.
Yeah. It's been tough, but but obviously like it's always nice to like ask like what are some advice like to like teach or like what are some of your advice to future teachers for breaking and all that.
This new guy's fucking nasty, bro. I'm sorry I cut you off.
You found him? Yeah.
Yeah,
that's amazing. I think rather than advice, like I'd say like I think there are important questions we gotta ask ourselves. Mm-hmm. So like the first one is like, what do you feel when you're breaking about your life in general? And then it's like, what do you want other people to feel about themselves, right? And like when we can answer what do we want other people to feel in the process, then that dictates the tools we can use with them to help them get to that feeling, right? So like if somebody's like, yo, like I want to feel like I'm number one in like the world and this and that and this and that, then okay, cool, like maybe they're directly telling you I want to feel like I'm ready for these competitions, that's a feeling. So then we say, okay, so that means when we're training, we're doing structure, we're talking about how do you develop a round, what's good form, like how do you keep your stamina, and also like performance anxiety, how do you relax, like how do you forgive yourself when you don't execute, and like I think like the forgiveness part is like the most important. Like in breaking, like people mess up and then they lose and then they get all angry and they're like, I lost in the quarterfinals, I lost in top 16, I didn't make it past prelims. Like nobody cares, man. Like it's not gonna, like you win the jam, it's not gonna change your life. Like for real, like at best, like you got like $150, like $200 and a high five and like the temporary respect of your peers. Everyone's forgotten about it in the next 2 weeks. Like
that's a good way to say it.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's over,
I think so. Switch said the best advice. It's the best thing on that is like, yo, man, I won. What was the Montreal Jam?
Skillsometer.
He won Skillsometer, and then he went right back to work the next day, and no one cared.
Exactly. Exactly. Like really, like it is true. Like winning. You can win as much as you want, but like the sad truth of what we're doing though is you can win all these competitions. You can be the illest in the world. You break your wrist. Then what? You know, like you know, you're out for a year, 2 years, then what? So like, it really goes to show like you got to take everything with a grain of salt. Like competitions don't matter. Competitions or jams were just an excuse for everybody to get together anyway. And like, it's not about the winning. It was more about the gathering. And like, if you get caught up in losing or winning, like that's okay if it drives you. But like, at least like, are we grateful to even spend time with each other? Because like during COVID, when we couldn't go anywhere, like everyone was like, oh, like I can't wait to be able to go outside again and do this and that. And if jams restart, are people still getting upset about losing in prelims, or are they thinking like, whoa, man, I can't believe now we can actually like kick it with each other? Remember before when we couldn't go anywhere for like a year? You know, like that should have been like a life-changing experience for a lot of people. But some people, I feel like they kind of went straight back into the same mentality, like nothing ever happened.
100%.
Yeah,
Oh
so,
yeah,
human nature,
a lot of people,
yeah, like that.
a lot of people have like forgot that we just had a lockdown for 2 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, the
So,
first jam coming back, it was really special. The Harborfront one that Troubles organized. I was like, oh shit, first breaking jam.
That was like super fun. Like that was like really cool. The vibe was nice by the water. That was like really dope.
Yeah,
perfect.
it's like perfect.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah, that was a really interesting moment.
True. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'll take that. That's a good advice because sometimes I teach a lot of private kids, and like I guess I gotta know like what they're kind of like what they want out of this, and kind of like kind of adapt their approach to that.
You gotta, I think it's a twofold. It's about you as like a facilitator or like instructor, however you want to call yourself. Like, what do you feel that you're trying to emit? Like maybe you're trying to get somebody like inspired about breaking. So you gotta like be able to give them things that give them like those quick dopamine hits of like, oh my gosh, I got this move. And then you stack, right? That's where you build on top of the movement. And then the alternative is like you have to give them like long-term goals where it's like, oh, like you're trying to get windmills, okay, so we gotta do XYZ. Maybe you practice shoulder rolls with them first, and they know there's something to work towards. They get a little bit of a dopamine hit in the moment, and then they see their long-term progression as well, like beyond not just like a few months but like years, because they're looking up to you. So that means like you also have to be nasty for yourself so that you can keep like pushing them, right? Like
yeah, that's true, yo. Yeah, because like I teach a lot of kids, and what you just said, like that what you just said, like can definitely apply to a lot of the kids. Because I have one kid that's super talented. This kid can like flare windmill halo, and he got it in like 3 months. Like
I feel like you have there's a lot of kids in the studio that are really good though. Like not just one. Like I've seen clips. There's like 4 of them. And when I went to that jam, the It's Just Breaking jam, the other one with the kids battle, I was like, whoa, like what is happening? You know, like
I'm creating soldiers, bro. Yo, times are hard right now. I need some soldiers right now, yo.
You're trying to build those kid armies.
Yeah, we gonna need them, yo. The breaking scene is gonna see some tough times, so I gotta raise them up for when that happens, yo.
Yeah. I mean, if you do, just make sure they start calling people out, man. That's what we need more of. We need more call-outs.
I really want to do that. Yeah, definitely. Like the next one, I'm gonna tell yo, you lost that kid. Yo, call him out. Or like yo, that judge. Yo, you thought you lost. You call that judge. You know you know his games. You'll call him out still.
No.
I mean, you gotta like lead the process in like a respectful way. There's like a cool way to do it, not just like roll up and like be like bam, like.
Yo, they might do that to a stranger. Yo, they're gonna do that to me too when I teach them. So I definitely I can't let them do that. Yo.
Yeah, you know, you gotta guide the process. Like we gotta work out these old methods. Like there's better ways to do things.
Yeah, for sure.
Also, it's like too like. Is it a dance problem or is it a personal problem? You know what I mean? And I think like people gotta differentiate the two. Dance problems can be solved with dancing. All right, that's what a battle is for. Personal problems though, like social issues, y'all need mediation or therapy, or you gotta talk it out. Like I don't know, like you know, shit like that. Like there's 2 different things. Like sometimes I think before everybody was all mixed up. Like you know, be some dance problems.
Yeah,
people be fist fighting.
Yeah.
You know?
And we started
like you stole my dance move, punch in the face. Like what?
Yeah, literally. Yeah. That equates. That makes sense now. Now you think about it too. You're like, damn, bro, someone actually got punched in the face for this. That's crazy.
Right? Yeah, that's crazy.
Yo, like
stories that these guys tell us, you're like, god damn, yo.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of intense. Like the way that like b-boys like treat people is really shitty, actually, in general. Like, just on the internet, like, dude, if you think about it from a zoomed out perspective, let's say like on Instagram as a platform, like somebody's like, oh, this person's a biter, right? Or whatever, this and that. And you got all these people. And it's like, meanwhile, like, if you really like take a step back, you're like, damn, these grown ass men, majority, are roasting this 14-year-old child
For
I
copying.
know, right?
for, you know what I mean? It's like a 35-year-old man is online bullying 14-year-old dance kid. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're
Hey,
like,
that's a clickbait title right there.
oh,
Clickbait title.
Yeah, that's a good clickbait title. But that's true though, man. Like sometimes these guys go too hard, yo. For
I
little
did it first. I did it in the 90s.
True. Damn, yo.
Yeah.
But yeah, all right, yo. Let's go to this session to five. So here's the fun.
Oh.
We're gonna ask two fun questions. So first, I'm gonna start first. So, yo, what are some things that you hate about the scene right now, or some like things that grinds your gears, like off the top
Tap
of your
mills.
head? Tap mills, okay.
Yo, okay, listen, like,
Yo,
I feel
honest.
like as an individual movement, of course, like anything is fine. But like, there's that era like that happened where everybody just decided they're gonna tap mill out of everything. Like no matter what happened, like it's just like, yo, you had a bad day, tap mill. Like just everything. Like so I feel like tap mills are like extremely or have become sometimes extremely overused and like they're no longer like I don't know something that looks really dope. They're just like a filler movement for people who don't know how to get up. But sometimes it can be used for safety purposes. But like still, it was just like, all right, this is overplayed. So I think tap mills is number one. Like it's always on top of my list. Like I think it's overplayed. People got to switch it up. And then number two is like I noticed that there's just like a lot of fear in callouts now, and I don't understand why. Like that's like something that really bothers me. Like people have no problem like in these competitions, like starting to talk all this smack. They give each other the finger, like you know what I mean? Like they'll do all that. And then afterwards they'll dap you up, like everything's cool.
Yeah.
But then like
Some dissonance.
you'll be in the cipher with that same person and like they won't call anybody out. Like, and it's like where did this bravado go? Where did this attitude go? You were like acting like this in the battle. Like keep it consistent, or are you just playing a character? And if you're playing a character, like which is the real you? The one that was battling? Are you genuinely feeling like that asshole? Or are you trying to put on that front because that's the only way you know how to compete against people? Either way, it needs some resolution. So that's why we should battle, and sometimes that's what the call out is like, who are you and why are you such a dick? And
True.
and people don't want to ask the question of like, why did you act like that? This is why we're gonna battle. Or like even just, yo, I really like what you did. That was dope. We need to battle. Or like, I respect everything about you. I need to get smoked by you. It doesn't matter how good you think you are. Like it's an exchange, right? So like I think going rounds with people is the thing that like really inspires others. Like you gotta test yourself. It's an exchange. So it doesn't matter whether it's chill or whether it's heated. Like at the end of the day, everybody can get something out of it if they know how to do it in like a constructive way. But people don't know how to call each other out or cipher battle. So like I feel like that's something that really bothers me. And I think people became too competition oriented and they forgot that like, it's just an excuse to get together and cipher anyway. Like the competition is just like a byproduct of our community.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yes. All right, James, ask your question. The good stuff.
All right. I will ask that question, but I got other questions too.
Okay.
But I want to ask first. What is the best advice, breaking or life, whatever, that you've ever had or been bestowed upon? What's the one you?
The best advice?
Yeah. Either breaking or if not breaking, life.
Life.
Okay. Two things. The first one, I think the first one definitely like I still try and apply it, but sometimes life gets in the way. It's just like from my dad, he always said like there's nothing in life worth rushing for. And if people or things, if they make you feel like it's a rush, it's probably not real. The second thing is that things only become more of what they are and less of what we want them to be. You know, so that means like people, environments, interactions. And like an example of that might be like sometimes you meet somebody and then you be like, oh, this person's cool. But when we were talking, it felt a little weird sometimes, right? Like we've all had those kind of interactions. And then like sometimes we gaslight ourselves and we say like, oh, maybe I just don't know them well enough and this and that and this and that. But like all the information was already presented to you about what your relationship with that person is like. Like when you are with this person, it's going to be cool, but it's going to get weird sometimes. The only thing that's going to change as you get to know them is you're going to understand why it gets weird sometimes, but it doesn't change the fact that it always will get weird sometimes. So it's the relationship is always going to become more of that. It's going to be cool and it's always going to have those weird moments. That's what it is. It tells you that from the beginning, from the jump. Like that's how it is. So people change, but so do you. And the changes keep the consistency because you're always changing. That's why the relationship will stay in that range. But what you experience is gonna be different things. It's gonna be cool in different ways, and it's gonna get weirder in different ways. That's what's gonna change.
Okay, I hear you. All right,
Yeah.
interesting. All right, now the fun one. Our staple question that we always ask every guest: when's the time that you've smoked the shit out of somebody? And then when's the time you got soaked so fucking bad?
You got soaked.
You got
Oh,
did I say
man.
soaked? Oops.
Soaked. I got like really smoked. I think countless times to be honest, but like Kaze from Supernuts.
Kazi?
Man, like it was in this Top Rock battle that Drops hosted, and like at the time too, like I think I was like also having like a hard time, like just that moment, and like we were ciphering a lot, and you had to like cipher to get in, and so by the time that battle came, I was like, yeah, like all right, like I really wanted to win at that time, and then I battled Kaze, and like he was so composed and calm, and he knew the music, and he was just chilling. He was in his pocket, like he wasn't worried about me. He wasn't worried about anybody. He was just dancing. And like me, I was like trying to snap. Like I was trying to go off. My energy was all over the place, and he just sunned me. Like he just humbled me, like so quick, so hard. Like it's like I had to process what had happened. Like after, like I got smoked that like smoking like stays with me forever. Like I was like destroyed. Like he like ended my career. You know what I mean? Like yeah, like yo, shout out to Kazi. Yo, like for real, like he really like that changed my breaking. Being smoked by him in that way changed my dancing.
Was this 11 years ago at Top Rock City?
Yeah, that's the one. Like,
okay,
was,
no, don't worry, no one's seen the footage. It's not out there.
Yo, he like destroyed me for sure. I don't even care if people see the footage. Like, it's just a fact.
Let's watch it together, everybody. No, I'm playing.
Oh my god. A time when I smoked this, like I don't know, I don't like when I'm battling people. I don't think about it too much. Like, there's no one I can be like, oh, like I smoked the shit out of this person just because like I don't really care. like and then but that's the other thing. Like I feel like you only feel like you got smoked or you're smoking when you're in competition with other people. But to me, like I'm not in competition with other people. Even if we're battling, it's not a competition between me and you. Like it's just me and me in that moment. You're a placeholder. Like you're my breather before I get to do my next round. You know what I mean? Like this has nothing to do with you, even though it involves you.
Yeah.
So like if it's a call out though or something like that, it's a fun little exchange, but I'm not thinking about who's winning or anything like that. It's just moments. Yeah, it's just moments.
Yeah. I noticed the more I've asked this question to people, that's like the flaw in this question. It's like, oh, I know when I got smoked. But then I don't know when I smoke somebody. I don't know.
Yeah, I
Yeah, it's
don't really
like
know.
I don't like either you don't
Yeah.
Yeah.
really care, like what you just said, or it's like I don't know. It's just you never really thought of
It's
it.
like your approach and your mentality in breaking too, because sometimes like people don't look at it like that, or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it
You
depends
gotta
if you're like a
gotcha.
really cocky individual. Then it's like, oh yeah, I smoked this guy for sure, easy. But it's
Yeah,
like,
like I don't know, like Eric, like when did you get smoked? Like who did you smoke?
oh
Yeah,
shit,
that's
did we
tough.
ask it?
Yo, even for me, I don't even remember, yo.
I know. Honestly, I can think of the times I've been smoked more than if I've ever smoked
Yeah,
somebody.
Yeah, same with me. I can remember the times I got smoked, but smoke someone that's tough, yo.
Oh, actually, you know what? I did.
yeah.
I smoked Stefan. Actually, I smoked him
Yo, your
by
son?
accident. Yeah, I smoked my son, but like it's not really that. He's only breaking for literally a month.
Yo, he's your son, bro. What are you
Dude,
doing, yo? Child
does
abuse.
that even count? Like
All right, so
you're
this is
like
what
this
happened.
person's been dancing for a month.
All
Like
right, this is what
oh my
happened.
god.
This is what happened. So like, I'm lined up like it's qualifier. I don't even know this guy, so I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know what he's gonna do. And I think I had to go first. I'm like, fuck it. Like I'm just gonna go. I'm like in my head, I'm like, I'm not gonna go all in. I'm just gonna chill. And then I out of nowhere, I just did all this shit. I'm like, all right, done. Like I'm feeling it today. Dunzo, what you got, bitch? And then this like a beginner comes out, and I'm like, oh fuck.
You're like I'm a terrible person.
Yeah, now I'm a terrible person. And now he's in my crew.
True. And most of
So
the time, I
who
feel
really
like
won?
most of the time, I feel like whenever someone gets smoked, like you either smoke yourself or they smoke themselves. Like, because usually it's like someone who dies
Right,
tragically.
right. Like people lose to themselves, you know.
Yeah,
Like
And
you
that
know
for me,
they
that happens
it's
many times. I crash a
oh.
lot.
yeah.
Yeah, it's the worst too when like you come out all hype and you're like, yeah, I'm gonna kill it, and then you like
Bruh, that's the
slip or
worst,
something
yo.
like, and then you just downward spiral from
Yo,
there.
especially
You're
when the
like,
weed is
nah,
hot.
this is
Oh
over.
man,
Yeah,
that's so
no,
sad.
no, no, it's the worst, man.
True.
The
Hear the
worst.
explosions. You just hear the explosions on the way down.
Yeah, man. But James, you've had some fire rounds. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like a lot of the rounds too, where you hit that like reverse like 90 from right stab.
Yeah.
Like everybody goes crazy because like in those moments they're like James is smoking people. It's over. Like you know, like it's a wrap. Like after you pull that move out. Like I remember the
Yes.
first time you executed that in the battle. Like
Yeah,
everybody
bro.
lost their mind, and I
They're
was
like, what the
like,
fuck?
you can't lose.
Yeah, no one
Like
expected
everyone's
that
like, you
shit.
can't lose. You can't
Yes.
lose.
The other a tip to beginners: do some unexpected shit. It always helps. It always gets a woo. At least
Yeah,
one
or
woo.
like don't show everybody all your cards. Like don't be always posting your practice footage up so
Oh,
people are
That's
surprised when they
true.
see you. You know,
I never
That's
post
true.
my
like
shit. I don't even practice with. I just practice in the same spot with my same homies, and somehow I make the moves up. I don't know. Actually, speaking of that, how do you like? You said you've been practicing on your own. So like,
yeah.
what is a typical Tafaya practice? Like,
Mhm.
what is set the scene? Like, what is like? Do you have a goal for it? Like, do you like?
Like no. Most of the time, like it sounds weird to say, but like one funny thing people might not realize is that like at this point, a lot of the time, I don't practice to music. Like
Mm.
Like I like to dance. I like to practice breaking without music at this point because like
Oh.
sometimes you really need to focus and like music can be motivating, but like I also like would like to be able to execute regardless of what the sound is. So like
Mm.
I just like let the room be silent and just like live in my head about it. Um you know, and then like obviously like I'll go to parties or things like that in the past when I had the opportunity, and that's where I felt like I was like dancing a lot or developing those like abilities because like when you're in like the club for like 5 hours, you got to find a way to keep yourself interested in the music. So that's why you're always playing. But when I go to practice with myself, especially alone, like sometimes I'll be there for like 3 4 hours with no music, just like working on movements or like I have certain ideas that are angles. I move really slow, like practice slow, improve fast kind of thing, you
Okay.
know? And then like there's no goal, but like sometimes it could be like I'm drilling techniques. Sometimes I'm like focused on like creating or playing. Or if I'm injured, I'm just like rolling around trying to like figure some stuff out. I'm really tall, like my legs are long, so I have to work on form all the time. Like it doesn't come naturally. Like it's something like I actually had to put a lot of time and energy and effort in. And like that's not something you can just rush through. You can't just move fast and like get good at form, especially when a lot of your aesthetic depends on it. So like that's also why like I don't play music. Sometimes I'll just be like one step at a time, one position, one movement, and I'll just do it. Like do it because it's fun, but also because like it's important to me
Okay.
at least to keep like getting better. Yeah,
Okay.
I'll do like power combinations. I'll try like creative ideas. I'll try and like refine things. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm just wondering because like I'm not used to practicing on my own. Like where I'm
Mm,
gonna move to, there's b-boys where I'm moving to, but there's probably gonna be a lot more time where I'm gonna be on my own.
mm,
So like I gotta that's like a next journey for me is like how do I even do that? Because every time I try to
yeah,
practice on my own, I can't do it. Like but
yeah,
now it's like get used to it, bud. you know.
yeah.
So
I feel like yeah, when we're breaking, it's still like an extension of our lives, right? Like so, like if there's nobody around, that's just like a better opportunity too to get closer to your real style, where you're like not as influenced by other people. Like you can really make some like unique stuff
mhm.
where you can at least if you can't acknowledge it as unique, like I have that struggle, I can say it's genuine, and maybe that's a better word. Like I
Mm-hmm.
created this genuinely out of isolation. Like I was alone for X amount of time and I was consistently working at it and this is what came out of it. And like but I'm also not creating it to show people. Like there's so many things I have I don't share with people, but like I just make it cuz I'm like, "Oh, cool, I can do that." All right, next. Like it's just to create just for the sake of creating, just to prove to yourself that you can cuz you're infinite. Like and if you don't feel like you're infinite when you're breaking, you're always going to hit the ceiling and feel like you're not good enough. Like I never have to struggle with feeling like I'm good enough because like that's not a thought whether I'm good or not. I don't think of am I a good breaker or am I a bad breaker. I don't think if I'm dope or if I'm whack. I can think of if I feel whack or if I feel dope, but objectively, like I know it doesn't matter. Like it's gonna change every day. So you just got to do what you got to do in order to like fight those demons. You know what I mean? Like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
All right. I guess my last question. So like we already brought up the set, like we said, like you traveled the world, bro. You were in China. You were teaching in China, right? You
yeah,
went to Russia. Shoot, you've been to Africa.
yeah. Ukraine,
You went
Russia.
to UK, Russia. What's the next
Ah,
location we're
one
gonna
more
randomly see you
travel
spawn
next.
in?
Next location.
yeah.
Dude, I don't even know. Like, see, but that's the thing. Like, I don't. You asked me this in advance. Like, I can't really tell you. Like, um,
What's a dream location? I guess that's a secret still. What's like a dream
man,
spot
like,
you want to go to?
I don't have any dream spots anymore because I've
You're
hit a lot of
everywhere.
dream spots.
You guys
But like,
been around.
there are still a lot of places like I'd like to experience, like Nepal. Like, I'd like to get down in Nepal. Like, that would be
On a
cool.
mountain, bro.
Yeah, with the Shaolin monks.
Um, I mean, I think that breathing would be hard, but like, you know, I'd still like to experience like that scene over there, like India, like
Yeah.
to break in India if possible one day, or like Thailand, like they're nasty, like over there. Malaysia, you know, like where else? New Zealand, love to like break in New Zealand just to see what that's like. Like Mongolia, would love to break in Mongolia if I could, like just to check
Are,
that out. Like there's a
you know
lot of
b-boys out
places,
there?
man.
You know b-boys out there?
Like I'm sure I could find them. Like you know what I mean. And like some of the other places, like yeah, for sure. Mongolia, I'm like I could probably find some. You know what I
Low
mean?
key,
Like not too.
I kind of want to find that challenge.
Yeah,
You
I
know,
want to
like
know. Yeah, I want to
Yeah.
know if they're actually
I kind of
real.
want to see
Brazil, I
that
want to go to
challenge. Like, yo,
Brazil.
just get dropped off someplace and be like, all right, I'll
Yo, that
find
should be
b-boys
yo.
home.
It's like it was like
Like
Anthony
Amazing
Bourdain. Yo,
Race,
parts unknown, bro. You can find breakers. That'd be so
Breakers
sick.
Unknown.
Yeah, like
Yo, honestly,
you'll
Unknown,
oh
yo.
yeah, I don't know, man.
yo,
Like you
honestly,
know, like one time when I was in Guyana, I went back to visit like Guyana, right? Like the Caribbean, the
yeah.
Caribbean
There's b-boys there.
country. So like that's the thing. Like I didn't know there was any breakers there, but I was trying to find them, but I didn't. So one day I went to just like a capoeira class at the Brazilian embassy, and then at the end of the class, I just started breaking, and then some of the dudes in the class were like, "Oh, you break too?" And I was like,
What the
"Oh,
fuck?
there are b boys here," and then they were like, "Yeah," like. And then we just like talked and whatever. But then like when it came time to practice, they told me to show up at a certain time in a studio in the middle of nowhere in a field, and then no one showed up. Like, you know, because they're on Caribbean time. Like
Wow,
maybe they come, maybe they
B-boys,
don't.
yo.
Okay.
You know?
True.
They really are B-boys, you know?
You
Yo,
know,
we gotta hit up
so-
Charles, bro. This guy, yo, breakers unknown. That's actually a fucking interesting idea. That's like,
Yo, yeah,
Breakers
low-key,
unknown.
we gotta do that, yo. We got the funds to do that.
all
yo,
right,
do
first,
that.
yeah, our Patreon's gonna make. Yo, by the way, shout out our Patreon, like, comment, subscribe, so we can start our own TV show. But honestly,
Yeah.
yo, I was like thinking about that, like, yo, there could be a show in breaking, especially now that
Yeah.
like this is around the time to like start like doing shit, i.e. the podcast, you know. So
Yeah.
like, yeah. So if someone else wants to do it, go ahead. Don't let it be me.
Yo, we want money for that, yo. Have
Someone-
some rich
Well,
money.
you don't wanna find yourself in the middle of a jungle, like
Oh, I'll
try to
do it.
figure out where
I'll
the
do it,
B-boys and B-girls are,
Yo,
where the people who break are.
Charles, yo.
Yo, some Snoo B-boys, you know? No, wait. Amazonian?
True. Damn, yo. All right,
Yeah, that would be
so,
sick, yo.
So we passed the 1 hour mark, yo. So Tafai, before we end this podcast, yo, who would you like to give a shout out to?
I mean, I don't know. Like, shout out to everybody. Like, you know, like I think it's really that simple. Like, shout out to everybody. Everybody, like, I think that right now, everybody is actually genuinely like trying their best. You know, with the tools that they have. Doesn't matter what their goal is. Like, everyone really is trying something, and that's the important part. Like, people got to give themselves the chance, because there's a lot of places where people don't give themselves a chance, or they don't get the opportunity. So as long as people are trying their best, like, that's all we can ask for, like, on any level. And I hope that people stop being lazy and waiting for other people to start initiatives. You know what I mean? Like, so shout out to all the people doing things for the community, like you guys do, you know, and throwing these events. Shout out to shout out to Youngdo for hosting sessions on Monday.
100%,
Shout out to TJ. You know, TJ. I think this is really important. Like, and I've been thinking about this actually more over the last 2 years. TJ doesn't get enough respect, and he doesn't get his flowers. And TJ's been holding down St. Lawrence session and like Sunday session for years. St. Lawrence for a very long time, and like no one, like I don't know anybody where I've publicly heard them be like, "Damn, TJ, like thank you so much for holding all these sessions for all these years for everybody to improve." Like I've been going to St. Lawrence since I was like 16. I'm 32.
Damn.
Like technically speaking, TJ has been around in my life since I was 16, hosting the space for me to improve. Like, come on, man. Like, how can I not like show gratitude and appreciation? Like, that's somebody who's like been around. That's like amazing, you know? So these kinds of people in the community need their respect. And like I feel like they definitely gotta be dapped up and been like, yo, you have like changed my life, technically. You know what I mean? Like you've changed my life. You've been there. So thank you. And like I really like hope that if he watches this, like that's how I feel. That's how it always felt.
He
but
watches
like
this, yo. He watches
Yo,
this.
shout out,
You know?
shout out, the GOAT.
Yo,
you
we
know,
need to
like
clip that.
for
We
real,
need to clip
like
that.
yeah, like for real, like people need to like say it to him. Like don't just think it, but actually like express it, because it changes people's lives when they hear it. Because sometimes you're just working your job and you're like, does anybody care about this? Like I felt that when I worked for Unity. But like if somebody says it, then you're like, oh shit, I didn't know you cared. So like that's how I feel about it. Yeah.
We should have more appreciation for TJ actually.
Yeah,
Shout
you
out.
really clip this, yo. Let everyone know, bro. That is true, man. Like without Session Spot, there wouldn't be half as many breakers as there is, or like even like.
Yeah, like how would we be here? You know, how would we have
you know
met
what?
or improved?
Yo, the scene could have been dead without TJ.
Without TJ,
Yeah.
Toronto scene would be dead.
Yo, clip that, bro.
100%,
Yo, that's why I send you those memes, TJ. You know exactly which ones I'm talking about.
Yeah, man.
That's all the appreciation. He knows what's up.
TJ is a friend of the podcast. He comes on our podcast all the time, yo. Like, yo,
And he supports,
Yeah,
you
man,
know.
for real,
Yeah,
for real.
Yes.
we
For real.
can make an award for this man. Yo.
No, he does. He deserves a lot, man.
Yo, you know
TJ
what?
deserves so many things.
Every jam, the award should be the TJ Ramos.
Yo,
No, like actually, you know,
Every-
create like a breaking thing around him. Be like,
Yeah, this
yo,
should literally be the TJ
Like,
award.
like, the TJ
like-
award,
Like the first place of every jam. And if you get a trophy, it's the TJ Ramos Appreciation Award.
Yo, and it's just him like standing like this or some shit on the flag. Like,
You get TJ dollars.
TJ dollars.
Yeah, you get like the
TJ
envelope.
Maxx, dog. TJ Maxx.
Oh
TJ
man.
to the max.
Dude.
Oh man.
Yeah, shout out, bro.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was episode number 93 of the It's Just Breaking podcast. Yo, we finally got to Fire and B-Boy Anansi on it, yo. It's been a long time coming, yo.
This guy said, "And respect."
Because
Peace, yo.
two people.
Peace."